Okay, so this next session, I want to discuss with you what we can do to get more households, to get more people in our business, so that more households and more people are able to remove toxins from their homes. We're going to discuss the basics of our business because that is what helps us to get more people into our business. It's called the sponsoring process. What is the sponsoring process? For those of you who are new in the business, the sponsoring process is a process you go through with a prospect until they become a registered distributor. In practice, if you have any 20 prospects or 30 prospects, by the time you get one or two people to join, from the 20 prospects you have been speaking to, only 2 to 3 will say, yes, I want to join the business. So this is a business that requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of consistency so that you can bring new people to your business. So what is the sponsoring process? You know, during the presentation, every presentation you do on Mondays or whatever day you or your upline leader does presentations, we always say that there are three basic success habits that we do every day. One is using the products. Two is sharing the opportunity and sharing the products. And three is personal development. So this sponsoring process is step 2 of the daily success habits. The sponsoring process involves a number of steps that you need to do or to master in order to grow your business. The first is to prepare a prospects list. A prospects list is a list of people whom you intend to speak to about our business or to educate them on what our business does to help them make a decision to join. Once you've prepared your list, the next step is to invite them to see the business opportunity, either a one-on-one or they watch a DVD or a video or a magazine, whatever tool that you use to show them the business. And then, in fact, the most effective presentation is to invite them for a group presentation where somebody who is experienced explains the business concept or the business idea. This is the business opportunity presentation. After the business opportunity presentation, the next step is for you to follow up with your prospect. Why do you need to follow up? Because most people don't make the decision immediately. Some people take time, some people make decisions quickly, but the average person makes a decision after 4, 5, or 6 times before they say, yes, I'm interested. So let's go through the sponsoring process first. The first thing is the prospect list. What is the prospect list? If I may say, finding prospects is the most important asset. Prospects are the most important asset in your business. Why is that? Because your team members will come from your list. Your most important asset in your life is that list. I would suggest the following. Write the names of every person that you know. A few rules: do not prejudge, write the names down and tick them off. That means contact everybody on your list. The reason why you don't need to prejudge is you don't know what is in the heart, on the mind of somebody. You don't know if somebody has been praying for a long time for a business opportunity like this one. So do not prejudge when you're writing the list. Number 2, write people's names down. I know our brain is a fantastic organ, but they say a blank pencil is always better than the sharpest mind. So write the names down. Number 3, tick off names from the list. That simply means talk to one person after another from the list. And then keep adding new names to the list daily. I am sure that today you met somebody you didn't know yesterday. So add new names to your list. You can meet them when you're in the bus, in the taxi or matatu. You can meet them at the bank, at the doctor's place. You can meet them on social media, Facebook, whatever social media or place that you meet new people. Add their names to the list. Number 2, the people whom you have spoken to and are not interested, ask for referrals. Let them give you referrals of the people they think may be interested in the business. I would also suggest make business cards to make it convenient and easy to speak to strangers. You know, speaking to strangers and asking for a phone number is not an easy thing to do. It may actually appear quite awkward. For example, you're a gentleman, you meet a lady in the bank, you start a chat. If you go and ask, may I have your phone number? It's very awkward. But if you remove business card and say, by the way, I run a business and this is my business card, may I contact you later to speak about the business we do? That gives you a very good opportunity to get their contact. And then develop a high sense of awareness. That simply means be aware of the people around you. Start conversations with people and talk about general things. And before you leave, get people's contact. Attend events to meet new people. That's a very important thing, because if you want to meet new people every day, attend events. If a church event, sports events, Toastmasters, all those are places for you to meet new people. The next thing, if you notice in this W, the next thing is to invite. Inviting is, you need to learn how to invite professionally. Remember, we are looking for people who are looking. That simply means you need to search for those who are already looking for the business, because their chances of seeing the opportunity and getting started are very high. What is the goal of inviting? The goal of inviting is to educate and make people understand what we do, either about the products or about the business. And then ask the right question. That is a qualifying question. For example, are you open to look at a way to generate additional income? Or are you open to look at a business concept that allows you to grow your business without quitting what you're doing? There are four key things that are important in the inviting process. Number one, you need to detach yourself emotionally from the outcome. That simply means that if you're wishing so much that somebody should say yes, and then they don't say yes, you feel disappointed and you feel bad. That knocks your confidence. So you need to learn how to detach yourself emotionally from the outcome. It's not easy, because I've gone through it. At the beginning, I was very excited about the business. I could see what the business could do very clearly. And I would get really surprised, sometimes even shocked, that why is this person not seeing what I am seeing? Okay, so detach yourself emotionally from the outcome. Two, be yourself. Don't act different from whoever you are normally. Be yourself. Number three, be enthusiastic. Enthusiasm simply means you transfer your excitement that you have to a prospect. Be enthusiastic. And number four, be bold and confident. That simply means have a very strong posture. When you approach people with a confident posture, people are likely to take you seriously. If you approach people as if you're begging them, people actually get repelled. You don't need to beg people to join this business. I know you need to look for them, ask them questions. If they have any objections, answer the objections, but do not sound desperate or do not have the mentality of begging them to join the business. I mean, for Betty and myself, I think we are very grateful that our sponsor actually asked us to join the business, because I think it was a great privilege. And then the inviting formula. How do you invite people professionally? Number one, be in a hurry. Number two, compliment the prospect. Three, make the invite. Four, get commitment. Five, confirm the meeting. Six, schedule the next call. Let me just go through this step by step, how to do it. For example, you pick up the phone and you call, John, I'm just going for a meeting, but I'm glad I caught you. Are you open to look at a business? Because I know you're a very serious business person. You're always very successful in what you do. Just make sure that your compliment is actually true or is genuine. Don't pamper people. People will know what is genuine and what is not. So compliment people with a compliment which is genuine. If John is an engineer or is a very busy person, say, John, I'm glad I caught you. I know you're a very busy person and your time is very important. I've got a question for you. Are you open to look at a way to generate additional income? Most people say yes. I have a short video, 10 minutes long. If I send it to you, would you watch it? That question is designed very specifically so that the person can say, yes, I would watch it. because you're offering something, they also need to offer you something in a back, which is to watch the video. So you ask, if I send you a video, would you be able to watch it? Most people say yes. Next question, when do you think you will watch it? And then wait. Let them give you a time. The reason you do that is that the prospect is the one who sets the time when they're going to watch it. If they tell you, no, if it's 10 minutes, I'll watch it this evening. Next question. So if I call you tomorrow morning, you'll have watched the video. They say yes. So what is the best time for me to call you tomorrow to discuss the contents of the video? They will say, call me at 10 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Then tell them, okay, tomorrow 1 o'clock, I'll call you. I'm sending you the video right now. So see you tomorrow. Goodbye. You need to be very clear that the prospect is the one who makes the commitment when to watch it and when it is convenient for you to call them. So that the more the prospect sets the time to do it, the more you increase the chances of them watching the video. Another way to invite, if you're inviting somebody for a meeting, let's say there's a meeting in the head office of the company, either in Johannesburg, or if you're in Nairobi, you've got a meeting in one of the buildings, you invite, by the way, John, I'm running a business and I know you're a business person. Are you open to look at a way to a concept that helps you grow an income without quitting what you're doing? If they said they're not interested, said, well, maybe this business is not for you. Or if they say, yes, I'm interested, tomorrow, 2 o'clock, we're having a meeting at this venue at this time. The dress code is smart casual. The meeting is 2 o'clock. I'll be there about half an hour before the meeting. If you come to the venue, if you enter the room, I'll be wearing a white shirt or a black jacket, whatever it is. Give as many details as possible so that the prospect, you create a mental image of in the prospect's mind on what to expect. Better still, tell your prospect, well, I'm driving, maybe I should come and pick you up from wherever you are. Would 1 o'clock be sufficient to pick you up for a 2 o'clock meeting? The reason you collect their prospect is you increase the chance of them coming. So learn how to invite for your prospects correctly. And once the business opportunity, if I go back to the W, once you've learned to invite, then the business opportunity presentation. A few rules about the presentation. At the presentation, go there in time, sit in front, have a pen and paper to take notes, take part in the presentation. Most presenters will ask questions of the audience. Most presenters will maybe crack the same joke they've cracked the last 2, 4, 5 years. You as a distributor, make sure you take part. If it's the same joke you've had over and over again, just laugh at it. Your prospects will follow your cue. Whatever you're doing, your prospects is likely to follow up to do. Once the meeting is over, sit down with your prospect and ask the closing questions. Well, John, you've seen the business. What did you like most about the presentation? They will tell you what they like. It's framed that way so that you can focus the prospect's mind on something positive. What did you like most about the presentation? They will tell you either the product or the business or both. Next question. Do you see yourself getting involved in our business? That question helps you to direct the prospects to make a decision. They say, oh, maybe I want to think about it. Question is, if you want to think about it, what aspects would you like me to clarify? Most people take time before they decide. So be very patient with your prospect. If the prospect say, let me go and speak to my spouse, or let me go and do this, I said, okay, can I call you tomorrow at 2 to see what your spouse has said? Or if you want more information, can I call you tomorrow at this time? You help the prospects to make a decision. What is the important thing about follow-up? Remember, your goal is to educate the prospects on the business. Another important thing, act as a consultant, not a salesperson. Don't push to close a sale. Create a friendship and educate your prospects so that they can make a decision based on the correct information. Then ask the questions to reveal what is in the prospect's thought process. For example, the prospect saying, "Oh, let me think about it." Ask a very simple question. Is there any aspect of the business presentation you would like me to clarify? If they say, maybe I don't have the right money now, ask another question. Okay, if it's the money part, is money the only thing which will prevent you from making that decision? When you say that, they go through their mind and then they will tell you what would be preventing them from making a decision. Once you've addressed those questions, then the prospect either has to say yes, or the real reason why they have an objection will come out. Remember, it takes 4 to 6 exposures before a prospect will say yes. And there are 2 objection categories, only 2. It could be different in different ways. I don't have money, I don't have time, it's not a good product, it's a pyramid scheme. There are only 2 categories of objections. One is limiting belief in themselves. They don't believe that they can become successful, or they don't believe in the network marketing industry or network marketing profession. So be aware of those objections. And a very important thing, don't argue with your prospect. Why is that important? The more you argue with the prospect, the more they dig into the reason why they shouldn't join. In fact, a very good phrase to use is feel, felt, found rule. For example, I know how you feel. I felt that way before, but I found out this. For example, a very common objection, people say, I don't have time. From my own experience, I felt the same way when I started, because when I started the business, I had a full-time job. I was still studying, doing a postgraduate. So I know how you feel. But I found out that if you organize your time very well, you can become successful. For example, during the week was difficult for us to do the business, but we did the business over the weekend, and that's when our business grew. So do not argue with the prospect. You need to empathize with them, how they feel, and tell them how you felt also in a similar situation. And you found out that if you really think about it and plan your time, you actually can become very successful in the business. Then a very important thing that is necessary for success in this business is the power of persistence. This afternoon, when I was preparing for this session, I went to check the meaning of persistence and perseverance. Those 2 words are very close to one another. They don't mean exactly the same thing, but they are slightly different. If you go to the Oxford Dictionary, it will tell you persistent and perseverance seems to be the same thing. But I think persistence is sustained effort towards a goal. Perseverance is withstanding the challenges that you're going through while you're doing something. A good example is somebody who is running a marathon. When you're running a marathon, you don't say you're persistent, but you say you're persevering, because you are enduring that pain to finish the race. You don't say that you are persistent. When you are having a goal of reaching, for example, become a director, you're persistent in following a prospect. You don't say you persevere, you say you're persistent. So persistence has to do with continuous effort. Perseverance has to do with withstanding challenges that you're going through to achieve a goal. So persistence is sustained effort towards a worthwhile goal, and is driven by the will. I want to share with you a few things that will help you develop persistence. First, you need to have an intense desire for what you want. Why is that important? To develop a desire, it means you need to create a goal in your heart or your mind. In fact, the word desire comes from the word sire. To sire means to give birth. So you need to give birth to your dream or your vision. And for that to be intense, you need to have a very big goal for the desire to succeed to be very intense. So have a desire to succeed. Second thing, have a definite purpose. Definite purpose is clear written goals of the things you want to achieve. If you have a desire, you need to convert that desire into goals. Write down the specific things you want to achieve. For example, if you want to, some of our friends who are attending the leadership school in Mombasa sent us very, very exciting videos and pictures of the leadership summit. And it is being conducted and directed by Drew McDermott, our Vice President for East and Southern Africa, and Fred Kasia, the Director for East Africa. If you're a distributor, manager, senior manager, director, make it your goal to go to the next leadership summit. That will increase your desire. Then have clear plans to be a Sapphire director or Emerald director by a specific date. Once you've written down those goals, the next thing is you need to have definite plans followed by action. There's no point of having plans and action is not followed. So have definite plans and take action towards those goals. Will it succeed the first time? No. Action simply means you need to do what needs to be done to get your goal. Talking to people every day, going through the sponsoring process we've just been discussing. Have very accurate knowledge about the business. Know what the compensation plan is. Know some of the policies and procedures. Have a good grasp of the product. The more knowledge you have, the more you're going to take definite action in the business. Very important, teamwork. Teamwork is what makes this business work. And cooperations in your team. Cooperation simply means you need to have good relationships in your team. This business is very strange. The kinder you are to your distributors, the more successful you're going to be. And kindness costs you nothing. So have good teamwork and then consistent effort until it becomes a habit. That simply means you need to do this. You need to go through the sponsoring process on a daily basis until doing the business becomes a habit. Because a habit is a stable disposition of doing the things you need to do to become successful. If you do this following thing, you will develop the persistence to become successful. So, what are the things you need to do to develop persistence? One, have an intense desire. Number two, definite purpose with clear goals. Number three, definite plans followed by action. Number four, have accurate knowledge about our business. Number five, teamwork. Always remember, this is a team business. You can't do it on your own. Okay? Teamwork and cooperation with your team. And number six, consistent effort every day until it becomes a habit. If you do those few things, you develop the power of persistence. And if you develop the power of persistence, success is going to be yours. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you very much for spending this evening with Betty and myself. We wish you every success in the last week as you go towards the month end. And if you haven't achieved your goals, we always say in our business, it's not over until it's over. So thank you, good night, and God bless.